week a jury decided that Tracy Miller was right, and she had the courage and the fortitude to fight over several years in order to address the most powerful person in this county, Todd Spitzer. And she did it with courage and with dignity. And she raised issues that few people are willing to raise. She raised issues that trouble all of us, but few are willing to speak. She spoke well, she spoke loudly, and she was heard by a jury. She decided to do it the American way, and she went to a jury to ask them to say when Todd Spitzer did to her was wrong, what he did to other women in that office was wrong, and she wouldn't stand for it. Very proud of Tracy and Bijan for telling Tracy's story.
Stand up here for over an hour and tell what about Tracy Miller. She paved the way for so many women in the district attorney's office. When it came time to stand up for the women that were being harassed, she knew the consequences, and she stepped forward to protect them. Because she did that, the jury's verdict shows that the top lawyer in the county of Orange retaliated against her, harassed her, and worst of all, did it for now. I think every woman at the district attorney's office, every man at the woman at the district attorney's office should thank Tracy Miller for her actions.
I sat in the office of the director of the HR department with a young woman, lawyer, prosecutor in her 20s. And she was crying, and she was shaking, and she was rocking back and forth, describing the sexual harassment she had endured for a long time against Todd Spitzer's best man and best friend. She told me sometimes I cried, sometimes I laughed, sometimes I went along with it, and none of it worked. It wouldn't stop. I told her in that office, I am double your age, and the harassment I faced from Todd Spitzer and Sean Nelson. Sometimes I cried, sometimes I laughed and went along with it, and sometimes I told them to stop, and none of it worked. I then went upstairs and reported her harassment to Todd Spitzer and Sean Nelson, only for them to call her a chicken and say there are no real victims in this case. Then they tried to fire another victim, and Christopher Duff and I stood up and said, no, you cannot fire women for reporting sexual harassment. And then we were retaliated against. The jury has spoken, and they have found that Todd Spitzer and Sean Nelson committed retaliation on victims of sexual harassment, corrupted and hurt crime victims on capital murder cases. And those victims didn't get justice because they put politics before victims on murder cases. The jury also found that they retaliate if anyone comes forward, and they retaliate against whistleblowers. For 25 years, I had the privilege and honor of representing the people of Orange County. And the people of Orange County deserve better from their district attorney and their county leaders. They deserve better. The people deserve better than the Orange County Board of Supervisors spending millions and millions and millions of taxpayer dollars defending this corrupt DA. They deserve better, and I bet you the county will appeal this case, which means taxpayer dollars will be spent again, and it means the victims will just be re-victimized. The people of Orange County deserve victims of crime to not have justice not served on them because of political corruption. The people of Orange County deserve not to have the only district attorney in the state of California who is found violating the Racial Justice Act and telling his leaders to give him a brown face or a black face on cases. The people of Orange County deserve their leader not to give misleading and untruthful statements under oath. This verdict today is not about me. This verdict today is about the over 100 DAs that left the DA's office early because they were pushed out, because Todd called them unethical, because Todd said they were corrupt. DAs that were fired for his political gain. This verdict is about all of the good DAs that came before me that have been pushed out, fired, ridiculed in the newspaper. This stands for all of you. I want to talk to the Orange County DAs for a minute. Your boss testified in his deposition that he has many liars amongst you. He also testified under oath that he came into a corrupt office. I had the privilege of working with you for 25 years. You were honest, you're not corrupt, and you're not liars. But your leader is. Many of you must feel frustrated that you have to decide between feeding your family and being retaliated against versus doing the right thing. And that the public needs to know you are absolute heroes every day, doing the right thing even though it can cost you your job. Many of you might feel unempowered and like there's things you can't do, but you have all the power. Stick together. Support those witnesses that testified and told the truth, your leaders and managers, and hold those that didn't accountable. Make sure that you don't victim shame or judge the victim's suffering or try to compare suffering. Stick together. Stand up. Hold your managers that sweep things that he does under the rugs accountable. You are heroes. You are my people. And I'm so proud of the work you do every day. The men standing behind me, John Burnett has the most brilliant legal mind of anyone I've ever met in 25 years of practicing law. Anybody that's ever worked with me will tell you he is the best lawyer. Worked with him will tell you he's the best lawyer they ever met. But he's an even better human being. When I was scared, when I was fearful, when I was stressed, John Burnett protected me and defended me. When I had no one in the county of Orange protecting me, he was there for me. And for that, I will be forever grateful. Thank you. Next to me is Bijan Darvish, and if you haven't met him, he's a pit bull. Bijan Darvish persistently helped me tell the story. And he gave a voice to all the harassment that not just me, but all the victims and all the people before gave. You told my story beautifully. You are a badass lawyer, and I'm very grateful for you. Thank you. I have received so much support from the County of Orange residents and the legal community. I have received so much support, hundreds and hundreds of text messages from the bench, from public defenders, from DAs, from the private defense bar, from the GRIP partners. And so many times people say, well, what can we do? What can we do about this? There are several things you can do. If you are a politician in Orange County or running for office, don't stand on a stage or share a microphone with Todd Spitzer. Because that would be telling us that you're okay with corruption, you'll be okay with hurting crime victims, and that will tell us you're okay with racism and retaliation against women who reported sexism. If you're an Orange County bar event, a crime victims group, a women's group, don't let them buy a table at your event. don't give them a microphone, because that would tell us that you're okay with racism, sexism, political corruption, and a DA who lies on the stand. The County of Orange, it's time to step up. You need to protect the employees that work in that office. It is your responsibility. We were left with no one protecting us. I made a mistake in that HR office that day. I did something I regret. I forgot to tell that young woman. I told her sometimes we cry, sometimes we laugh it off. Sometimes we tell them to knock it off. I forgot to tell her, sometimes we fight. This beautiful legal community and the Orange County residents keep the battle going and fight against political corruption, racism, sexism. I believe in you, and I know you will. Thank you.
Are there any questions from the media? Michelle.
Tracy, hi, good morning. I was not able to cover this in San Diego, so, and I had heard things through the years, but nothing on the record. So can you take us back, and as simply as, I know it's difficult because there are so many incidents, but when you talk about the sexism in the office and what was going on, I was hearing things about women who were breastfeeding, all kinds of different comments that were made. Can you share just a few of those? Give us a taste of what went on in the office.
The biggest comments.
Tracy, can you step up to the podium?
The biggest comments were that 8 women came forward. They had the courage to come forward. And the district attorney and his chief of staff called them chickens and said there are no real victims in an effort to quiet and chill us all. There is one message he was saying to the press and another message he was giving inside the office. They were both giving. There were many times I was told women and men think differently. The men were called managing. I was told I was babysitting, and so was one of my assistant district attorneys. There were times that I was undermined. As soon as I started coming forward and reporting that he was doing corruption on murder cases, he tried to fire my best friend in the office. He told me, tried to take my duties away. They tried to take my responsibilities away. And it was consistent and constant and pervasive.
And when you reference the political corruption, share with us, if you can, an instance of that. This is involving capital murder cases?
Yes. Evidence of 2 capital murder cases came out in trial. One is the Bugs case, where the death penalty was taken off the table because Todd Spitzer violated the Racial Justice Act and made a disgusting comment. And his response on the stand to that comment is, "I was an idiot." The victims of that brutal murder did not get full justice because of his comments. Those people deserve justice.
What was it like for you sitting in that courtroom in San Diego when he took the stand? We were hearing that he cried at one point.
He cried a lot. One of the things that I predict he will do is start retaliating against the people that testified against me, or do a red herring and next week have a big case that he comes up with to change the subject. It re-victimized me sitting in there hearing him. He went from very, very angry and hostile to crying.
And maybe this is best for John, but are you representing any of the other women? What's happening next? Because there are other women. Have they filed cases as well?
Well, there's several other women whose cases are going forward. I don't represent any of them. I think probably represent those. But those cases are going forward, and I'm sure that they are very gratified by this first step. The first time that we got Mr. Spitzer into court, there was success, and great success, due to to our jury system, due to the fact that Tracy was able to tell her story. And so I believe that there'll be several more victories for the women who were victimized and marginalized in the DA's office for the last several years.
Have you, in your career, John, you've been in Orange County practicing law for decades now, seen anything like this with the top law enforcement official in our county, a huge judgment against him?
I've not seen it in more than 50 years of practicing, and I've not heard about it in other jurisdictions where the top law enforcement officer, the elected district attorney, is brought into court by one of his managers and successfully sued for forcing her out of her job. That has never been achieved, ever. And as a credit to Tracy, Tracy's story was told. It's never happened before. And it's a testament to Tracy's will and her desire to help other people in the workplace, a very professional workplace, a workplace which decides life or death, and whether people go to prison or not. It should be a much higher place to be, to work. And it wasn't so. And Tracy called the district attorney himself out on it, and she was punished for it. Punished over a period of years for turning him in for his misconduct, for racially biased statements in the Bugs case, and for protecting a young prosecutor who had the nerve to speak out when she was sexually harassed at work. So this was a big victory for Tracy and for the other people who have suffered in the office. And I'm very happy just to have been a part of it.
Tracy, what's your reaction to Spitzer's statement post-verdict? Have you read it, and what do you think?
I have none. I was on the stand, and I want to thank Christopher Duff, who had the courage to help me protect that woman's empire. Todd Spitzer never looks in the mirror. He just points everyone else.
Are the other victims all former prosecutors? Are they all attorneys?
They are all attorneys. One has left the DA's office to move to another prosecutor's office. The rest still have to go to work every day and work in that environment.
So they're DAs,
Yes.
deputy DAs.
Yes.
Do you think the DA should resign?
I'm not here for that. That's someone else's job. I think the county supervisors and leaders should hold them accountable.
Tracy, at the time when this was all going on, obviously you were the highest ranking woman in the office. What impact do you think the rank and file women that further down the line had seen what was happening to you, and what impact do you hope that this verdict has now?
So many people told me I can't talk to you, he'll retaliate against me. So many people told you I can't meet with you, he'll retaliate against me. So many people aren't here today that wanted to be because they're afraid he's going to retaliate against them. I think on purpose he picked me and Krista because we were doing the right thing, and he wanted to send a message as me, the highest ranking woman, to everyone else in that office. Don't go against me. I've received hundreds and hundreds of texts and emails from people all over the county and many DAs and DA investigators who had the same retaliation happen to them of support, and that telling me that they feel like they're not alone anymore. And this verdict means they got a voice too.
What's next for you?
I'm going to keep working with the community. I have a business where I help people do communications and consulting. I love it. I still get to help people tell their story through interviews or speeches. I'm going to keep doing it.
What makes you think they'll appeal?
Because the county so far has done nothing to protect me or those women. So that's why I believe they're going to appeal.
What do you think the supervisors should do? You said that they should hold him accountable. What should they do?
There's all kinds of things they can do. Not take pictures with them a week after a report comes out that he is trying to retaliate against women. They can sanction him. The law has methods where they can have him removed.
Do you think they should do that?
They can.
Do you think they should remove him?
I think they should do something. to save the victims that are still working there, still trying to do their job, and can't do it safely.
And there was a judgment against Judge Nelson as well.
The jury found that Judge Nelson harassed Tracy Miller as well. Yes.
And so all of the money that is owed comes out of the county coffers, correct? The county is paying all this judgment.
The county is paying the judgment except for the punitive against
The 25,000.
Correct.
And that what it was the total 3 million?
$3 million.
Is there a brief timeline that you can give us? What years was this happening in the DA's office? And Tracy, were you a 5? Is that what? Or were you the assistant DA?
I was a senior assistant district attorney, and most of the time that Todd Spitzer was there, I was the only female senior assistant district attorney. And he came to office in 2018. It got much worse after his best man and best friend repeatedly got turned in for sexual harassment, and that's when the retaliation started, mostly at the end of 2020, all the way through 2022.
And you left at the end of 2022?
Yes, I was forced out of a job I loved, a job I've wanted since I was a kid.
Do you have any estimate how much the county has spent defending all of these lawsuits?
Millions and millions and millions of dollars. Not only when Todd Spitzer was a board of supervisor, but as he's been a DA. The amount of lawsuits, payouts for settlements, and the defense, cost of the defense is millions and millions of taxpayer dollars.
What was the hourly rate of the defense attorney?
We don't know what they're going to charge the county for their time. But they spend a lot of time, and they have excellent lawyers, very good lawyers, and very expensive lawyers. And so the cost will be very
I
high.
heard it was like $1,600 an hour or some crazy number. Is that possible? Even possible in this world?
Well, it's possible. And I think that the bill is going to come due, and it's going to be.
And Tracy, you pay for these.
And the county will pay for that. They will pay for attorney's fees, they will pay for costs, they will pay for the entire service that they began and that they demanded occur.
If there's no more questions, thank you all for coming today to help tell Tracy's story. Thank you.